Mr. Dinosaur is lost.
George's favourite toy is Mr. Dinosaur.
Dinosaur.
George loves Mr. Dinosaur.
Grrr.
Sometimes George likes to scare Peppa with Mr. Dinosaur.
Grrr. Too scary.
At supper time, Mr. Dinosaur sits next to George.
I beg your pardon? Was that you, George? Or was it Mr. Dinosaur?
Dinosaur.
At bath time, George shares his bath with Mr. Dinosaur.
Good night, Peppa.
Good night, Mummy.
Good night, George. And good night, Mr. Dinosaur.
Grrr.
When George goes to bed, Mr. Dinosaur is tucked up with him. George's favourite game is throwing Mr. Dinosaur up in the air
Whee!
and catching him when he falls back down.
Whee! Whee!
Peppa and Daddy Pig are playing drafts.
I win, Daddy.
Oh, well done, Peppa. George?
George, what's the matter?
I'm sore.
George, have you lost Mr. Dinosaur?
George has lost Mr. Dinosaur.
Don't worry, George. We'll find Mr. Dinosaur.
It's a job for a detective.
Daddy, what is a detective?
A detective is a very important person who is good at finding things.
Me! I'm good at finding things.
All right, Peppa is the detective.
George, I'm the detective. I will help you find Mr. Dinosaur.
Maybe the detective should ask George some simple questions.
George, where's Mr. Dinosaur?
George does not know where Mr. Dinosaur is. The detective could try and guess where Mr. Dinosaur might be.
I know where he is. George always has Mr. Dinosaur with him in the bath. So Mr. Dinosaur is in the bath.
Mr. Dinosaur is not in the bath.
Oh. I know where Mr. Dinosaur is. George always has Mr. Dinosaur in his bed at night. See, that's where he is.
Mr. Dinosaur is not in George's bed.
Oh.
Maybe we should try the garden.
Yes, the garden. I was going to say that. Where is Mr. Dinosaur?
Mr. Dinosaur is very hard to find.
Oh, Mr. Dinosaur isn't anywhere.
George, you do love to throw Mr. Dinosaur in the air. I wonder if this time you threw Mr. Dinosaur just a bit too high.
There he is! I saw him first.
Well done, Peppa. You really are a very good detective.
I'm sore.
George is so happy to have Mr. Dinosaur back again.
Whee!
Maybe it isn't a good idea to play with dinosaurs near trees.
Dinosaur. Polly Parrot.
Peppa and her family are visiting Granny Pig and Grandpa Pig.
Granny Pig! Grandpa Pig! Granny Pig! Papa Egg!
ones, come inside. We have a surprise.
What is it?
We have a new pet. Can you guess what it is?
Dinosaur?
No, it's not a dinosaur. Come and see.
Granny Pig and Grandpa Pig have a pet parrot.
Peppa, George, this is our pet parrot. She's called Polly. Pretty Polly.
Pretty Polly! Wow!
I am a clever parrot.
I'm a clever parrot! Mummy, why does Polly copy everything that Granny says?
That's what parrots do. I'll show you. Hello, Polly.
Hello, Polly!
What a sweet little parrot.
What a sweet little parrot!
Come on, everyone. Tea time. Peppa, George, come on. There's chocolate cake.
Coming, Granny.
Peppa and George love eating chocolate cake, but today they are in a hurry to get back and play with Polly Parrot.
Finished.
What noisy little ones you are.
Granny, please can we leave the table and go and see Polly Parrot?
Are you sure you've completely finished your cake? Off you go, then.
Hooray! George, say something to Polly.
George is a little bit shy.
Hello?
Peppa and George are really enjoying playing with Polly Parrot.
I'm Peppa Pig. I'm Peppa Pig. George, say something.
Peppa and George are pretending to be parrots.
I'm Polly Parrot.
Peppa is thinking of something else to say to Polly Parrot.
I'm a noisy parrot. I'm a noisy parrot.
Peppa, George, have you been playing with Polly?
Yes, Granny.
Polly is such a sweet parrot.
Yes, Granny.
I'm a clever parrot.
I'm a noisy parrot. I'm a noisy parrot.
Oh, my word!
Best friend.
Peppa is waiting for her best friend, Susie Sheep.
Hello, Susie. Hello, Peppa.
Susie Sheep has come to play with Peppa. Peppa loves Susie. Susie loves Peppa. They are best friends.
Peppa, why don't you and Susie go and play in your bedroom?
Yes, Mummy.
George wants to play too. Peppa and Susie love playing in Peppa's bedroom. So does George.
No, George. This game is just for big girls. Go and play with your own toys.
Peppa and Susie want to play on their own.
I'm a tiny little fairy princess. I'm going to wave my magic wand and turn you into a frog.
George doesn't like playing on his own. George wants to play too.
No, George. I'm playing with Susie. You have to play somewhere else.
George wants to play with Peppa. He feels a bit lonely.
George, I need some help. I'm making chocolate chip cookies. Someone needs to lick out the bowl.
George likes helping Mummy make cookies. But he likes playing with Peppa more.
I'm to be a nurse. I want to be a doctor. But who's going to be the sick person? George!
Peppa and Susie love playing doctors and nurses. So does George. Peppa listens to George's chest.
Now, George, take a big breath in, then cough. I think your heart's a bit loose. How about a plaster on it? Open wide, please.
Susie takes George's temperature.
Oh dear, you're very, very hot. I think you have to stay in bed for 3 years.
Daddy Pig has come to find George.
Oh, no. What's wrong with George?
Don't worry, Daddy, it's only a game. George is our patient.
Oh, I see. Can the patient have a visitor?
Just for a little while. He might get tired. Cookies!
Yes, they're for George. They're his medicine to make him feel better.
Excuse me, Doctor. Can you help me? I have a sore tummy. That tickles.
I can hear it rumbling. I think you're hungry, Daddy.
Then I think I need lots of cookies to make me better.
And me.
And me. And me.